Let's get some more perspective now on the situation with Anthropic and the federal government and bring in Ahmed Banafa, professor of technology at San Jose State University. Professor, always good to see you. We appreciate the time here. So what's your take on this? Why do you believe the leadership at Anthropic drew this line in the sand and refused to allow unrestricted use of its technology by the U.S. military?
Good talking to you, Alex. We have to understand how this company actually formed. The engineers who left OpenAI because they didn't like how OpenAI ethical lines or principles or direction going. So they left it and they started this company, the Anthropic, in 2021. And this is how they came up with the whole idea about we would like to have a model that it is ethical, transparent, accountable. And they've been clear about it for a long time since we heard the name, Anthropic in the market. The sticky points here, or the 2 points of where the differences between the Pentagon and the company is actually very clear in the contract. Anthropic, the CEO of the company, is very clear about it. Number one is no mass surveillance of Americans should be used in this, using the technology of Anthropic. Number two is cannot be used, the AI model of the company, in the fully autonomous weapons that no human in the loop. And those are the 2 points where they have disagreed on the wording in the contracts. And this is where the whole thing started.
So what are the implications of this for Anthropic and its business? Because it feels like this goes beyond just losing this one contract with the U.S. government, because military officials this week also warned that the San Francisco-based company, it may deem that it is what they term a supply chain risk. What would that designation mean? How would it threaten Anthropic's other contracts and partnerships potentially?
That's a good point. I mean, an hour ago, the Secretary of Defense already labeled the company as a supply chain risk. We only use this kind of a label for Chinese companies because there is national security issues. We don't trust the company. Basically, that's what happened. Now, this one will be reflecting on the contracts with the company, not directly by the Department of Defense, by any federal contractor that doing business with the Department of Defense, they cannot deal with this company. So they're going to basically shielded and isolated from the opportunities. This very contract that we're talking about is the $200 million contract, which the company can deal with it. It's a big company. They have a deep pocket, but the implications of this is setting up this kind of a standard for any company, AI company is dealing with the government. They have to think about this scenario.
Yeah.
What if the government asks us to do A, B, C, D?
All right. So speaking of contemplating these kinds of scenarios here, how do you think other AI developers in Silicon Valley are viewing this decision by Anthropic to sort of stand up to the Trump administration? Do you think we see other companies like OpenAI, like Google, agree to the terms that Anthropic refused to agree to?
Well, I was, reading about what OpenAI is planning to do. They try to find a model that will satisfy both parties, whether it's the Department of Defense and also the principles of the company. The same thing with Google. They look at it and they say we have to make sure that we provide the government with whatever they want within the limitations that will protect, our ethical lines. The biggest winner in the situation here is Elon Musk, because he's next in line when it comes to using the artificial intelligence by the government. The process here, Alex, is the Department of Defense, they must certify the system before they can integrate it with the secret system or confidential or highly sensitive systems, and that takes time. They already did this with the Anthropic, a model. It's a very good one. I use it all the time. It's the least, with errors. Now, the other companies like XAI, or Elon Musk company, and the Google and OpenAI, they're waiting for this certification process so they can get into to have access. And this
so it sounds
process
like
now.
Anthropic's technology is more valuable in terms of what it can achieve than some of these other companies are.
That's at this moment, yes.
Yeah.
This is why
they're a little further ahead.
Absolutely, because they have less errors, the less hallucination. To be clear about it. This is why we heard the president say we're going to give the Department of Defense 6 months to phase out the system.
Right.
It's not something that you can switch off and then you can just walk away from it, because there's so much. It's so much involved with the systems in the Department of Defense. It takes months to just dismantle it.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a complicated process to sort of disentangle this technology from all of your different departments. Okay, well, thank you so much for the perspective. Always good to have you on. Ahmed Ben Affa from San Jose State. Have a nice weekend.
You too.